We're just exploring a couple of FSRs. The last one was blocked off completely, but there's a bypass. Looking for another way in right now. So the other access road was no good either, completely deactivated. This one here is in way better shape, but it's pretty deactivated, so there's a bypass made. It's full of stumps. Clint's gonna guide me through. Don't want to wreck a tire in here and then have no idea if this road's any good after that. We'll find out. So the road's still here. It's become more of a cow trail, single file. We're just trying to get a little closer. Don't have to hike as far. It's gonna be a little tight. Swing hard back. Just missed?
Just missed.
Yeah, it's tight. And these guys that cut trees, I don't know. Maybe they should consider full size. Just cutting it short. Just enough for quads, right? Took another turn. And the road's not really improving, that's for sure. But we're still lugging along. So we got the Jeep in super close to the lake. Then there's a downed tree, and then there's a gate. So we were already down there. There's actually a log cabin. Doesn't look like anybody's around. I'm just gonna go back down, take a couple of photos, and get out of here. See if there's any other access to the lake. It's kind of odd that these guys have a prime spot. Nothing shown on the maps. It's private. Obviously, I'm sure it is. It's quite the setup here. It's not just a cabin. It's a well-built and established property. This lake also has pelicans. Pretty cool. You seem to find them all in the backcountry here. This is the cabin. Definitely a nice build. Caught a glimpse of a trail in the Jeep, so we backed up, drove into it a ways, but it turns into a trail right away. And it comes down to this little lake here. Kind of cool. I don't know if you can actually get onto the water here, if that's all meadow or if it's all swamp. I guess we'll find out. Interesting. Yeah, you can't really walk on this. I tried. It's super gushy. Cool spot. There's a loon just out here. Going out the backcountry again, and main goal is to get more firewood. Really gonna start concentrating on that and getting as much as we can here. Oh, wifey's checking her phone. It's probably gonna be a day trip, but we did pack enough to stay the night in case we find a decent spot. So yeah, we'll be gone for the day. I'll see where we end up. I've got to check out a couple of new lakes yet. There's quite a few more to check out back here. It rained pretty heavy yesterday, and just a bit of rain turns this road into a snot fest. I can't even get out of the ruts barely. No, I'm stuck in these ruts. And the trailer He was tracking in another set of ruts earlier. There we go. It's all sideways. Still have good traction, but yeah, it's kind of it's a mess. Big chunks of mud all over the place. This section's kind of ugly, but it looks like the grader was here. Did some work. Don't know how solid this is. We're just gonna have to hang on and see if we can get through it. There's a few winch points. Go Jeep, go! Go Jeep, go! Just kind of floating on this. I'm air down to about 18. Doing really well with the trailer. So that worked out okay. Gonna climb this. Yeah, it looks like we're good. That's okay. That was a fun mud fest. What a mess.
We gotta go through it again.
Man, and I was gonna power wash the Jeep the other day, but wow. Every time we go out, it looks like this. It's a disaster. So we kind of missed the lake. We just kept to the main road. So the road that shows on the maps, it may be deactivated, maybe it floods, maybe it's just not really passable. So we'll just explore up here, I guess. We'll do our wood thing. See if we can find a camp. Some good shooting up here, I think. This is good for our target and hunting. We're gonna do some firewood here. I'm gonna go in that stand just down in here. There's two or three, one pretty decent size. I'll probably just take one so I don't have so much load in the trailer. I don't know what the road's gonna be like later. But I gotta clear up a bunch of stuff around it. There's a bunch of little ones down, and then I gotta fall this one, so gotta make sure I got a clear area. So I got my eye on this one because I think this one's gonna go on the road fairly easy. Not much for branches. It's a little messy down here, so I gotta get all this stuff out of my way and try to get it onto the road. I've got my area fairly clear now. I got all those logs that were jammed out of the way. So it's a bit burnt on the bottom, but the rest is pretty good. And I think I'm probably gonna drop it right onto those couple of sticks sticking up. Bit of a wind too. It's gonna move it a bit for me. Tree down. And I'm a little bit left of my target. That was a bit of wind, but it's pretty good. Be a pretty easy load here. I was just gonna get the Jeep, but I see Monica's got it. Well, she needs practice anyways. There you go. You got it. Look at that. A little bit off track, but I think the main road is down this way. We walked some of it. It seems in good shape, except I gotta cut a couple of trees out of the way now. But we went up that way. It didn't even register on the maps. I think when it was dug up anyways, it dead ends after 100 yards, 100 meters. Oh, more mud. Oh yeah. So let's take care of these 2 trees, and then it looked like it was okay for a bit. So obviously nobody's been through here recent. Just plugging away at this old road here, muddy road. Came across this guy. Doesn't look like it's even doesn't even look like it's moved this season. Interesting. Road's actually pretty good here. More mud. The Jeep actually handles mud well for its weight. And not having a whole lot of tread because it's plugged right up. And we got more trees down. Yay! I guess we're cutting ourselves out of here. And another tree. This is getting kind of slow and tiring. Pretty goopy in here. I'm going now. Well then, another mud hole and another tree.
Look at this tree.
Yeah, lots of firewood in here. Alright, puddles are getting a bit more serious.
Let's get these up a little bit. I don't know how fast they're gonna go.
So we're gonna go for it. Worst thing is, if I'm stuck, then I guess I gotta wade through this crap and hook up the winch to the other side.
Well, and you know what's gonna happen. We're gonna get through it.
And then there'll be a tree down.
And then there'll be a tree down. And then we'll get to the end of the road and it'll be blocked and we'll have to come back this way.
Probably. Alright, you hold the cap. Ready?
Yeah, it's still taping.
Alright, here we go.
Alright.
Hold on. We'll just finish this up. And easy pleasy.
Hey, clean the trailer.
Yeah, maybe we washed something. We made it out to one of the main FSRs. Of course, the weather is kind of falling apart. So we'll just start heading up and back. See if there's anything else of interest. Tight in here.
Whoa, that was close. Savannah, come. Stop! What? There's a tree there. Savannah. Easy breezy.
Not so bad. Where's your tree again? We are already August 25th. Wow, the year has just kind of flew by. The summer went pretty quick. Of course, being sick for a couple months. And still not 100% now. But I'm here by the big apple tree. Well, there's two fairly large ones here in the orchard garden area. This tree produces pretty heavy. I'm really surprised of how many apples we actually got. And there's still quite a few hanging. There's still lots in the tree. But many have actually just fallen. This is my fourth picking through here. I've got a couple of baskets. I'm taking the best ones in the blue basket, and the other ones I've just been putting away for the horses, the neighbors. And I've actually just dumped some in the woods, and somebody's been eating them, probably the deer. We just have an abundance, obviously. So today I'm gonna take as many of the good ones as I can, and we'll be doing applesauce. I still have some down in the root cellar. There's 2 full baskets there. So I've got whatever's edible here, and then whatever's still on the tree. You know, some nice big ones up top. They'll be coming down soon, so I'm trying to gather up as much as I can and keep the waste to a minimum. Maybe next year I'll do some cider or something. But there's definitely no shortage. The garden's starting to wrap up. I've got a couple of the beds almost cleared out. So the carrots and a whole bunch of potatoes here by the sunflowers, they're gonna stay in until we're near frost, and I'll just be taking them out as we need. But yeah, it's starting to wind down for sure. I got rid of the weeds at least. All that big brushy. Oh, look at this bird. I think he's all yellow. Can you get a shot? No, he's gone. They're a bit skittish. There's a bunch of them around. This is the corn that Monica planted. I'd say it's about 8 feet tall. Looking good. They're still a little small, but they're getting there. Looking good. I think we chopped this guy up. There was just too many. We had some snail issues because it's been a little bit wetter this year than normal. So lots of snails come in here and they've been eating the broccoli and cauliflower. Well, that's fine. Next year will be different. And all those are tomatoes over there, and they're doing pretty good. I think there's a bunch ready, and in a couple more weeks, I think they'll start wrapping up too. This is the plum tree. It's pretty well picked clean. Monica took as many as she could. A lot of them hit the ground, but not much you can do about that. And this is the other tree. It's apples top to bottom. Pretty cool how this really produces. Anyways, there's a lot on the ground too. So I'll pick through this and just remove all the bad stuff from here too. It just attracts a lot of insects and probably mice and stuff. So I don't want to leave too much on the ground at all. Pretty quiet morning out here. Not much going on for noise. Dogs are having a standoff. Usually when one flinches, it's game on. Pretty quiet morning. Some seagulls in the distance. Not really any traffic. Pretty quiet on the road. Notice a lot more birds, so we actually put some bird feed out again, and they seem pretty happy. Not nearly as many as we had in the spring, but it's definitely a lot more birds here. And I think a lot of the berries and wild stuff is kind of ready. There's old currants and stuff. I can see them picking through there right now. A lot of dried up stuff. So they're having a feast. This lettuce is kind of beyond, I think, where it's really tasty. The snails got into it anyways, but the center is probably okay. But it's giant, this thing. Here's a gallon watering can for comparison. Yeah, it's giant. I gotta cut this out. All it is, it's just attracts the snails. This one here, I think the center is probably good. There's a red one over here. Again, it's huge. The bees are enjoying the sunflower quite a bit. Go for it. Yeah, it's nice. They love it. So this one here has like a, wow, almost a dozen heads on it. It's pretty cool. This is only one plant. This is the food mill I use to process the apples, because I didn't skin them, I didn't core them, I didn't take the stems off, nothing. So I went through the medium plate. Then after I was done, I did 3 full pots, and then I went through the small plate because some of the seeds were going through. So I've had this for a number of years, but I've rarely seen any action because we just didn't really process food in large quantities. I've got everything back into this pot. I'm just gonna let this simmer a little bit. Just let some of the liquid evaporate. Well, it's pretty full. It's not gonna reduce a whole lot. I'm just gonna try to enhance the flavors a little bit, just reduce it. And then we'll start jarring it up. We're gonna can it, so not sure how much it's gonna make. I'll probably say 5 or 6 jars, quart size maybe. I'm gonna make some Hungarian sausage style. And we got the casings on here, and we are going to be using the electric machine. It's got a fairly big hopper. And this is a pretty large machine because doing this by hand was okay on small batches. But we're not going to be doing small batches anymore by the looks of it. So even for game processing, we kind of need something that's going to deal with many pounds. Alright, let's fire this thing up and get some of this sausage in the casing. deep in the back country. I didn't want to go this far back actually, but we're getting some wood, and I'm double checking pretty large stand, burnt forest, semi-burnt, so a lot of trees are dead but not burnt. I think it's just down a little ways. You can see a lot of this stuff is no longer green. We ended up way further back than I kind of had originally planned, but that's all right. I just want to double check this stand that's behind me. It's pretty small wood, and it's mostly pine, which is kind of controversial for wood burning. A lot of people say no, it's too much creosote, this, that, it burns too hot, blah blah blah. But if you know what you're doing and you're doing your own maintenance on your chimney and just watching everything, and just do your maintenance. There's nothing wrong with burning pine at all. And there's lots here. This is a big stand of it. It's mixed in with some old poplar. I don't think it's birch. There's not much left of the bark, but I'd take it if the birch was any good, but I doubt it. It's not birch. So yeah, we're gonna take some of the bigger pine stuff. There's a stand right there. I'm just gonna take probably most of that and just some ground stuff that looks really dry. So the reason I'm taking this stuff, because it's ready to burn basically. It doesn't need any seasoning. So I want to fill up the side of the shed that doesn't need seasoning. So some of the past wood we've gotten had to go on the other side. It needs a few months, maybe even till spring, till it's ready to go. So right now we're just gonna focus on stuff we can burn immediately. So let's get into these and see how they are. We're taking a lunch break. It's actually pretty tiring work. I dropped 5. One was a spot drop right where we wanted it, and I lost 4 to the wind, so they all went into the forest. So we got extra work, but nothing we could do about that. I even wedged one, and the wind in the tops and the crowns is pretty strong. So it went where it's extra work, right? So I'm bucking and throwing them here into the road, and Monica's loading the trailer, so it's half full already, but I've got 3 more to buck, 2.5, and move, and then we'll make our way home. But this stuff's awesome wood. This is good to go. Needs no seasoning, so we'll be able to use this right away. Oh man, we're getting there. I've got just a bit more to buck up in here that went with the wind, and Monica stole going. Who needs to go to the gym? Holy smokes. Yeah, it's a good workout, definitely. Just gonna keep hydrated and not beer, that's later. And that's why we had a big dinner last night. And a good breakfast too, holy smokes. So, we want to get this trailer fairly full. So busy here, huh?
Yeah, lots of traffic. It's pooch.
Shouldn't really leave the Jeep on the side of the road like this, it's too busy. Just kidding. Haven't seen a vehicle all day since we left. Nobody's back here. Yeah, maybe. So yeah, the entire trip in was just no other vehicles. And none have passed. But I'm okay with that. I've kind of just left, we've kind of left the crowds behind. I think we're getting pretty fed up in the last couple of years. So it's just nice to be out in the woods and just do your thing, and not have dirt bikes screaming by and a convoy of 24x4s and all the other bullshit. Yeah, we're done with that. Almost feel guilty for making so much noise with a saw. Guess we're not really pissing anybody off. We're gonna take one more to top up the trailer, and this is a pretty good stand. Those are actually a decent size for sure. but the wind is really picking up. There's a storm blowing in. So I'm not going to do those ones because I know they're going to not fall in our favor. It's actually really windy up at the crown of the trees. But we got this leaner here. It's gonna go down to the ditch of the road, I'm pretty sure, without much I'm gonna give that a shot and get out of here because the storm is coming. I'm back on the corner of my trail here. I'm up to there's a pile behind me, so I'm gonna take a few of those small trees and just make stakes out of it for the garden. Prop up some of the plants. Some of the tomatoes are getting pretty heavy, so and maybe I'll just thin it out a little bit in here because I did some work in here before in the spring, but there's plenty to just thin out, take out some more trees and open this up. Got a small problem here with this tree. This little leaner. I figured it was gonna get hung up in the canopy. Of course it did. I can't push it over. I mean, it's a small tree, but I can't really get it dislodged. And I don't want to leave it. So we'll hook up the winch to the bottom and just pull the bottom out. That should let the rest drop. My safety team came up to meet me, the dogs, because they won't come up on their own. And wifey. So I put her to work since she was seeing what the hell I was up to.
Going back to baking? Screw this.
Yeah, you should have stayed in the kitchen. I made her wrap the tree saver around the mess I made over here. And got the winch on it. It's not the best pull, but it's the best I can get the Jeep into position for now. But it should be with any luck, I'll pull the bottom of the tree through that little slot between those two trees. But no, it's gonna get hung up. You know, that's how it goes. But I only need a few feet and I should be able to dislodge the top. Let me just move out of the way here. Yeah, it's starting to come undone. Just like that. I was just cutting up the hill and I drove down here and cut another piece that's been an eyesore. Jeep's right there. And just walked in. There's a deer just casually walking away. Didn't even mind that I was doing a bunch of woodwork in here. Interesting. Yeah. Quite a few deer on the property. They made most of the trails, really.